Now, once we have a properly fitted shoe, what are our options in terms of stack height, and what does stack height mean? Well, I'm going to give an example of a brand called Topo, where we're going to go with first a 28 millimeter stack height. And you can see this is the EVA, the expandable material that will compress, and that will give you your ride on the shoe. Now, it is important to recognize that just because something has more stack height does not mean that it's going to reduce the injuries. In fact, there's been nothing corroborated to show that more stack height and more cushioning will lead to better prevention of injury. What we do know, though, however, is let's say I'm recovering from a stress fracture and I have a really skinny mini 4 millimeter stack height. That might be a problem because now you have virtually nothing between you, the foot, and the ground except 4 millimeters. And that's going to be so flexy that that might be too much for your foot to handle at that particular point. Same might adhere to something where we have too much tension through the plantar fascia, which runs from the heel to the forefoot. Again, if we have a stack height that it is a little more thick, and once you get to a certain degree, it's sort of preference, personal preference and ride. Now let's jump up to a 33. You see it's a little bit thicker. Then we can go all the way to 35. We're adding weight, by the way, with each one of these iterations, okay? But now we have what turns out to be something very, very hard to flex. And what is the purpose of this? Well, it's going to flex when we're running, of course, because we have to toe off. But the advantage of this for someone like me, for instance, where I've bashed up my first metatarsal and have a turf toe right at this joint capsule area between the first metatarsal joint, is that when my toe is propulsing, instead of having something real flimsy, I now have something nice and stable. And even if it has a little arc at the end, a little rocker of sorts in the forefoot, that can also make a better ride for somebody like me.